last week I spoke about one of the Yehud and one of the promises when Moshiach will come is that there will be. I think it's fine. Is that there will be long life and eternal life. There's a pasuk in Yeshayahu that says, "Kimei ha'etz himei ami," that the Yidden's life will be like a tree. Trees that stay in the ground for many years, hundreds of years, thousands of years. Is also in that same sequence of psukim. It says, "Hanar b'meyashana yom." Somebody that will be 100 years old and will die will be considered a nar, a young man. There's also a pasuk that says, "Bila amavos l'netzach."
But the psukim are still.
No, they go together.
How does nar go die?
Another.
If there's
no, because Simei Ami doesn't necessarily mean that death won't exist. I'm not up to yet. Kimei Simei Ami just means that they'll live long, but it doesn't necessarily mean they'll live forever. There's another pasuk that says Bila Mavas Netzach, death will be abolished forever. Now, I mentioned last week different pratim, whatever, but this week I'll discuss more details about this. First of all, the pasuk Kimei Simei Ami can be explained in various different ways. But pashtus, it means that they'll live as long as trees. Trees stay in the ground for hundreds of years, or thousands of years, like I mentioned last week in California, wherever you have those.
The redwoods.
Huh?
And the redwoods.
And the redwoods.
They claim that it's throw in Sfas by Roosevelt School. The tiniest a tree over there is from.
Bria Soilum.
Moshiach is that.
Who's scientists?
Archäologien sagen wir das.
Archäologien not always were proven to be dust. Because archäologien proven that there's trees 700,000 years.
Not 700,000,
70,000, 70,000.
Good. So the pasuk doesn't necessarily mean that, there's actually different pirushim how long it means: 300, 500, 600, more. Pashtas, one of the simple biyurim is that when Moshiach will come, the world will return the way it was in the beginning of creation. Beginning of creation, people live long lives, and discussed this in the past. Simple explanation is, according at least to some Mefarshim, is that the atmosphere was much healthier, cleaner, and when Moshiach will come,
There's no pollution.
There's
no cars.
No cars, no pollution. When Moshiach will come, things will return.
No cars. Only trains and buses.
When Moshiach will come, things will return to the way it was l'chatchila. So that's the different pashtonim, different Mefarshim that they explain. There's also the Taish Kimeya Eitzi Meyami, Rashi brings down the Targum Yonasan ben Uzziel, the Targum that we have, the translation that we have on the Yeshayahu from Yonasan ben Uzziel. He writes, like the days of the Eitz, like the days of the tree refers to the Eitz HaChaim, to the tree of life. So what does this mean? The Pashta, simply this would imply that they'll live forever. Because the tree of life is the tree of life. It says if Adam Rishon, even after he ate from the Eitz Hadas, if he would have eaten from the Eitz HaChaim, the tree of life, he would have lived forever. Yeah. So and Taka, there's actually this interesting letter that they're miyaches, that they say was written by the father of the Rambam, the dying Rabbi Maimon. And he writes about Mashiach. The interesting thing is a lot of it is b'chal not the sheet of the Rambam the way we know it. So I don't know. Not a Rambam something disagrees with his father, or just B'chlal Lavdaf was written by the Rambam's father, but was definitely written by a Gadol B'Yisrael. He writes over there that he learns Pshat, Poshet, and Pashtus. The loss of Lavi, Mashiach will go to Gan Eden, will eat from the Eitz HaChaim, so live forever. Now, the Mefarshim, however, give a different interpretation of what it means, Kimei ha'etz Meyami, the days of the tree, like the days of the trees, the days of the Jews, and they explain that the Gemara says that the Eitz HaChaim, the tree of life, is a mahalach of 500 years. It takes 500 years. It's the size of 500 years. Whatever that means, physically, spiritually, is obviously not necessarily.
The Eitz.
Yeah, and not necessarily should be. The Gemara says from the earth until the sky, the marshal is mahalach tafkav shom. Yeah. So there's beauty up here, chassidus up here. But, so they say, whatever the explanation is, but they say that when it says like the days of the tree, it means, it's referring to the number of 500 years. That's how they explain. The Radak on the Pasuk in Yeshayahu explains it this way. He brings down, he says maybe he's referring, this is the Chachamim say that the Eitz HaChaim is a mahalach of 500 years, is an amount of time of 500 years to go through, whatever that means, to get around, to go through. He also, there's the Rabbeinu Bechaye that also explains a little bit of Pi Kabbalah, but he also teaches, he also connects it with Tavkuf Shana, it's the last Hey of Shem Havaya, explains something of Pi Kabbalah over there, but he also boils down, what he learns that the Poel Mamish boils down to the number 500 is associated with Eitz HaChaim, but Moshiach will come to live 500. That is the way some Pashtan, that's the way some Mefarshim explain. However, Rashi and others, you have from other places, it's very clear that they learn Pshat, that the Eitz HaChaim means that the Eitz HaChaim is the source of life, of eternal life. And it doesn't mean that they'll live as big as the size of the Eitz HaChaim is, but that they'll live based on the source of life is the Eitz HaChaim. You have Moshe, there's a Sifri, that Shimba Yechoy is quoted in the Sifri, he explains over there that the Eitz, the tree, is a metaphor for Torah. Because Torah is called the Eitz Chaim, the tree of life. So he says that, and he makes an interesting Kavachomer, Pashas, Pasuk saying that the Yidden will live, be as eternal as Torah. But he says that if the Torah was given for the Yidden, or something, I forget exactly the Lashon that he uses, the Torah is eternal, how much more so the Yidden, which for them the Torah was given, are definitely going to be eternal. So in the Pasuk, K'meya Eitzimei Ami, you could, again, you could either learn it that it'll be eternal life, or you could learn that it's going to be a certain amount of years, and Pshat, and just means the same way a tree has as many years in the ground, so the Yidden's life would be as many years as a tree, or I'll be more sophisticated explanations that it refers to the number 500, whatever that means. So that is B'nei the Pasuk K'mei Etzmei Ami. So again, which could be explained either way. Now, the Gemara, there's a Gemara that is in a few places, it's Masechta Pesachim, Masechta Sanhedrin. This is discussed in a number of places at length. The Gemara says that Ula asked the question. One pasuk says, Bila HaMavos LaNetzach, that will cease forever. Another pasuk says, Ki Hanaber Me'yeshana Yamus, that a person that will die, somebody that will die 100 years old will be young, but and that implies there will be death. There will be death. Eventually they'll die, and if somebody dies 100 years will be considered he died young. So which one is it? So the answer is, it's like Kashi, it's not a contradiction. Can be Yisrael, can B'umei So'ilam. And that's the real gear service. In the Gemara it says, can Ba'akum, but Akum means a Goy. There's between a Yid and a Goyim. The Yidden are going to live forever, the Goyim are also going to have long life, but they're not going to have eternal life. And once Pashta Bir, the Maral explains that life, why the Yidden, what gives the Yidden life? Because we're Davuk and Eibishter, we're attached to Eibishter. The Pasuk says, that you, the Jewish people that are attached to Hashem, you live forever. So you can't compare, obviously, so this explains, you can't compare the Devekas, the attachment of a Yid, to the Eibishter, to the Devekas of a Goy. Even a Goy, that the Chveis is Lav Dafka Rasha, but his attachment to Eibishter is not attached mamish to the source of life, so he'll live long, but he won't live forever. Hashem can did, however did not one with Eibishter, they'll live forever. That's Pashtim Shat, why there's limits in the Yid and the Goy. But getting back to the simple meaning of the Psuchim, so that's what he explains. It says, Hanar b'meyeshon Yamos is speaking about the Goyim. The Pasuk, Bila Mavos LaNetzach, that will cease forever, is talking about the Yidden. Stam Lohor, not to confuse it, but just as a Maimon Muska, according to the way he learns Pshat in the Pasuk, is referring to a Goy, so when it says Kimei Ha'etzimei Ami, that the days of my nation be like the days of the tree, there, that pasuk is referring to the Yidden. So according to the way he learns Pshat, L'ch'oy, you're going to have to learn Kimei Ha'etz, that is referring to the Kimei Ha'etzimei Ami, that the Yidden will live forever, like the Eitz HaChaim, whatever. This time I don't want to get into Pulpon. Now getting back to this Gemara, there's also a Medrash, which the Medrash brings there two opinions. The Medrash in the end of Pashas, I think it's the end of Pashas Bereishis, I think it's the end of Pashas Bereishis. The Medrash says there, it brings two opinions. One opinion says that la'asad loved is only going to be death by goyim. The pasuk now, like similar to the answer of Ula in the Gemara when it says that a person will die young when he's 100 years old. If he dies 100 years old, he'll be young. He's speaking about a goy. But by Yidden, there won't be any death whatsoever. The Medrash says one. The Gemara, but then the Gemara brings another opinion. The Gemara says, "Ha."
The Medrash brings
another opinion. It says that even by goyim there won't be misa. Even by goyim there won't be death. It says, what are we going to do the pasuk that it says that somebody that will die 100 years old be considered he's dying, he died young, which means there will be death. Medrash says it means a different thing. It means that when he'll be 100 years old, he will be eligible. That's the time that a person will be considered responsible for his actions, that he could get the death penalty for Aveda that he did is when he becomes 100 years old. The same way now, when you become Bar Mitzvah, right? They are 20 years old. The Beis in Shamayla judges you at 20, based in Lamata judges a person at 13. So a Moshiach will come because the life will be so long. So the time when they'll start being obligated, whatever exactly means is a separate discussion. Time will be started obligated in Unshim that they could get the punishment, the Chiyuv Misa, will be when they're 100 years old. But not that naturally they're going to die. If someone does a sin, he will be killed, or some Mefarshim learn if he would have done a sin, he would at that point he would be killed. But Lav Dafki will do a sin, which is a separate discussion, which I don't want to get into right now. How
you do sin then?
The Alter Rebbe writes in the Geras HaKodesh in the end of Simcha Vav that Shvanav and Sham Zachoyte Meni Shari Yukul that like in the Erev now that there will be people that will sin. Whatever, but the Alter Rebbe clearly says it will be shaykh. I don't want to get. That's a whole separate discussion.
He didn't serve the proper way the Yid, his master. He didn't prepare him the food at the right time.
There's no
it's not it.
How's the guy put them
I think Mother says, and all the goyim become Yidden.
We don't pass it. We don't. It's a tzarech. Many other days in that.
Yeah, there's days and everything. There's days to wear.
Days and everything.
We don't know with Achi.
Yeah.
The Rambam says.
The Rambam says this is the Sachen, was is this allem in Ayim from
So let's discuss a little bit the Gemara. The Gemara says that Bila Amavas and Netzach are speaking about the Yidden, and Hanar B'Meishan Yom is that there will be death, just there will be long life. We're speaking about the Goyim. Now, I mentioned last week that those opinions that hold that even by Yidden, the Rambam clearly is of the opinion that there's no such a thing as eternal life, physical eternal life. The Rambam is of the opinion that even those that will get up by Tchiyas HaMeisim eventually will die. Because according to the Rambam, the eternal reward is only in Gan Eden. It's only in the world of souls without bodies. The body is a temporary thing. Yeah, so the Rambam clearly holds that it's so the question is, what does he do with the pasuk Bila Hamavis Netzach? The pasuk says death will cease forever. So there are a number of explanations, very simple explanations what the Rambam does at a very simple level with the Radak writes, and a lot of people explain that's what the Rambam seems to maybe learn also, is that Bila Hamavis Netzach means that death that comes as a result of murder, of a sudden an accident or a sudden sickness, that will stop. But natural death means that the way the world was set up is that eventually, according to the Rambam, even Adam Rishon had to eventually pass away. The Rambam holds there's no such a thing as eternal life b'chlal. There never was and never will be. Because even Adam Rishon, the Rambam holds, doesn't learn that the Chet Eitzadas, way you learn in simple Pashas Aksuvim, that Chet Eitzadas caused that he should die. According to the Rambam, no, he was always supposed to die. Just by Chet Eitzadas means whatever it means, Mois Thomas, I think I mentioned last week, it's a spiritual death, or that then he's able to be, all different types of causes could cause death. So La'asalavi Bila Amavas Netzach means the death that people mourn. That I mentioned this last week, I think also, that somebody that all of a sudden dies, that they won't be. Somebody that's 1,000 years old, some Mefarshim explain that death won't really be a bad thing. He's just moving on to a higher form of life. He's not going to Gan Eden. It's not going to be looked at as it's not going to be. Huh?
So who says that? Who explains that? The Ramban, you say?
What? Bila Mavas Netzach. The Radak says Bila Mavas Netzach means misa mikris. In other words, that it comes through a mikra, a sickness, an accident. But misa tivis will remain.
That was, I mean, there was a fair known story that someone was promised to live to 120 years. And he said, the way you are now, that's the way. And it was 919 and 364 days, he knew that he's going to pass away. He was healthy, everything was fine. He knew he's living the world. So maybe then it's going to be like 1,000 years old, or 2,000 is going to be the time. And at that time, the person knows, nicht werden krank, und nicht going to a car accident, und nicht tanzen from the building.
Yeah.
No, my time is getting up.
Like a bet and again, this expires.
Go to a different level. Go to a higher level. Don't call it time.
This is what
that was I was thinking. It's going to be the time. It's 120.
It's going to be a misas shik. It's not going to be. So that's the simple. There's other explanations in Pshat and Bilam Avos Netzach which are a bit not so straightforward. But I'll leave it with this. So. Even in the Gemara, this is just the Maimer HaMusker, even in the Gemara, when the Gemara says, Bilam Avos Netzach is by Yidden, and now Rabbi SholomZirkind is by Yom Yisraelim, does that mean that the Gemara is accepting not like the Rambam? Yesh la'ayin does that. I think the Rambam could sich an Eitzah geben even with the Gemara, but it's lav dafka, but we'll leave that for a separate discussion. But getting back to the Gemara says Yidden will live forever, the Goyim will pass away. Now, when is the Gemara talking about? And I'll explain to you. I discussed last week that according to the Shita of Shmuel, which the Rambam goes with, that he holds that when Moshiach will come, there won't be a huge change in nature. But even according to him, like I mentioned, there'll still be long life. The Rambam explains even naturally how you can have a long life. There's no stress. You have a healthy diet. You can have.
That means an olive oil.
Yeah, the Rambam by Moshiach Yad Zavor, but Ani Orav the Rambam still
doesn't say you live
Yeah, the Kol Shkein by it.
Kol Shkein. Anyway, so Mepharshim say when the Mepharshim have a whole discussion when the one pasuk says he'll live forever, one pasuk says he'll die, he'll have long life or die. Why doesn't the Gemara just say that one pasuk is talking about in the first period, what the Gemara calls the Moshiach? The second pasuk is talking about the second period, which is called Elam Haba. Befrat, particularly that in the Gemara itself, in that same piece in the Gemara, there's a number of other contradictions between Pesukim, and the Gemara actually reconciles those contradictions by saying there's a difference between the first period, which we call, the two Tkufas is it's not exactly what the Gemara is talking about, but it's similarly, that there's a first period called the Moshiach, which then things will be one way, then there's a second period called the Elam, which then things will be another way. So Mepharshim have, I don't want to, this is Pupulam, I don't want to get lost into it. There's two opposite answers here. One answer is that the Ula holds that both psukim are talking about the first period. That for whatever reason Ula felt that even the first pasuk Bila Mavos Sanatz after death will cease forever is talking about the first period. And according, one second, Ula says that Goyim will live long, they won't live forever. Bila Mavos Natzach means that there won't be any death whatsoever. So Ula holds that both psukim are talking about the first period. And already in the first period, already in the first period there won't be any death for Eden. The Goyim, they'll live long, they just won't have an eternal life. There is another way of learning, however, I will say, which maybe is not the most opinions learned that way, but there is another way of learning, which is that Ula holds that both psukim are talking about the second period. That not only the pasuk that death will cease forever is talking about the second period, but the pasuk Hanar b'mei shana yamus that somebody was talking about the second period. So even goyim.
The second period they're going to be around this.
Yeah. So I'll explain to you. So part of the discussion evolves around the next few words of the Gemara. After Ula said this, the Gemara asks a shaila. What are the goyim doing over there? So the pasuk says, so the Gemara asks, because the pasuk says, that the strangers will come and take care of your sheep, and then they'll take care of your vineyards, So that's what you're going to have a goyim. So part of the discussion when we're talking about is, when is this pasuk referring to? The pasuk is talking about the first period or the second period. So the pashtus Mepharshim saying the second period of Elam Haba, what are goyim What are you going taking care of your vineyards for? What? I mean, you're not eating the olam haba. You see, there's no eating, there's no drinking. So again, there's different ways of working around the hashari terusum leninalud. There's I don't want to get into it, but that is part of the discussion. What are goyim doing? I will just say before I forget that there's avodas hakodesh, which Rebbe quoted a number of times. He speaks about the whole shita of Shmuel. Ein ben elam azoi esam sheikh shemach asad. The avodas hakodesh holds that chasidei umay so'ilam. He holds that even according to the opinion that says that goyim will die, he says the chasidei umay so'ilam, the righteous Gentiles will live forever. That's right. He says even if you're going to say, there's a whole discussion if goyim will stand up for tchiyas hamesim. He says even if you're going to say they're not going to stand up for tchiyas hamesim, those that are alive will live forever. And he says the Gemara says chasidei umay so'ilam, yeshlam chelek le'olam haba. Righteous Gentiles have a portion in the world to come. How does Hilam shat in the world to come? The world of the resurrection that happens after Tchiyas HaMesim. So he clearly writes, this is his shita, that Chassidei Yom HaYisraelim will live forever. That the Gemara is not referring, as Kumta Hilam, the Gemara is not referring to Chassidei Yom HaYisraelim. That the Chassidei Yom HaYisraelim will live forever. Now, so getting back to the Gemara, I hope people are still with me. So you basically have, there's two ways of learning the Gemara. When is Ula saying that there will be eternal life for Yidden and that the Goyim will live long? It's talking about the first period, which means that right away in the beginning of Moshiach there will be eternal life, and then Goyim will have long life. Or is he talking about that, according to the second way of learning, is that Ula holds that both Psukim are only relating after Tchiyas HaMesim, that then the Yidden will live forever, and then Goyim will have long life. But in the first period, it's not clear. It could be he learns it, however you want to learn. That's regarding the Gemara. Now, regarding the Medrash says there won't be any death even by Bnei Noach. The Gemara, Ula, answered the contradiction will be, there's a difference between Yidden and Goyim. The Gemara holds it won't be death, the Medrash brings the opinion there won't be death even by Goyim. So what is going to be, what does it mean that somebody that is young will die at 100 years old? Means that he'll reach the age of being able to get punished. Now, there is I need the Maimer Bilan Movis Anezach. Before we continue, there's a Maimer of the Rebbe that speaks about this. There's a Maimer of the Rebbe Maharash and a Maimer of the Rebbe that the Rebbe quotes and explains the Rebbe Maharash. He says that the Indian of yeah, so
yeah, I think so.
When did the Rebbe say it?
Earlier.
Rebbe said a Tavshin Chafei.
And what's the date?
Pashas Devarim something.
Yeah, but there is Magia given.
Memtes.
Some when he finished maybe when he finished saying Kaddish,
no, I'm saying when did he say the original? So
yeah, maybe it's
I think. But the Rebbe Maharash says that he explains that I don't want to say anything. But the second thing he explains. Yeah, I know. He explains that even the Misa by Goyim isn't going to be a Misa Kipshute. Literally. It seems a little bit, my humble opinion from understanding the way the Rebbe writes it also, is that he's learning that both Shittas in the Medrash, whether there'll be death by Goyim, won't be death by Goyim, so much after Tchiyas HaMesim. There's mashma a little bit from the way, particularly the way the Rebbe writes. It's written in the Rebbe's Maimer. But he explains that according to the second sheet, it's not going to be real death. It's going to be a nefila midar gosa. It says the Chassidus brings an expression which is sourced in the Zohar, even though the Rebbe says the Zohar says it a bit differently. That somebody that man the nafal midarge ikrimis, somebody that falls from his level, is called dead. So you have this concept you have in Gemaras and other things. Let's say a oni, somebody that's poor is chashuv kameis, like he's dead. Somebody, a number of different examples. So he says, Allah the goyim they're gonna have a bira. What's gonna happen is that the nitzutz will go up, and their bodies, which is like the ra, will have an afila. Once the spark of kedusha that's in them will be elevated, so like they themselves, their bodies will fall down from their level. Whatever.